Okay, everyone, welcome back. We going to have a cool little feature here, or whatever you want to call it. I'm going to do a poor man's Ongoro. It's meant for people who are on a budget, limited dust, but still want to craft some new stuff or some new cards, but they don't have enough good stuff for like legendaries. And this is my free-to-play account, so we're going to do that. It's going to be budget. And I'm going to go with the elemental package because the elemental package is actually very powerful, or not very, it's very good, and it's for multiple classes. Like I've been playing a elemental druid on my main account. It's been doing pretty good. I'm surprised. Okay, so we're going to start off, of course, with a shaman. So obviously, we don't have any, in this account we have nothing, right? So we're going to do custom. We're going to start crafting some stuff, but let's go ahead and put some cards that we already have. So obviously Hex, this is budget, Jade Lightning for removal. I don't have Karzan on this account yet, unlocked it, so 2 Lightning Storms for removal. If you do have a Jade Water Speaker, that's good, but let's go ahead and obviously Fire Elemental is a given. I do have Earth Elemental here, so you know that I'm going to probably put this in, but let's go ahead and start crafting. Oh, let's do this. Alright, so for budget, I would love to recommend this, but it's a little costly. So what we're going to do is obviously the hot spring, you want 2 of those. They're only 40 dust. We're going to craft, let's see here. You need 2 of those, that's a given. That's only 40 dust, 80 dust total for 2. You need Tar Creeper. It's too good, and it's really good against aggro. 2 of those, that's another 80 dust. You could get along with 1, but we're just going to do 2 because it's pretty cheap, and it's really good for token. You're on a budget deck, so you're not going to have a lot of... You need 2 of those. These guys are just pretty much... I know they're kind of expensive, but you could probably get along without just 1, but for this deck we're doing 2. I would love to craft him, but we're on a budget. I mean, it is cheap. You might want, if you really, really want to save days, you could put 2 Glacier Shards, I guess, instead of him, or use another taunt. This guy's a must. He's expensive with 100 dust. When you're on a budget, it's kind of bad, but you need him. He's card draw. Another one that you need, really important for a elemental deck, is this Blaze Caller. There's really no way around it. They're very expensive. If you're very limited on dust, you could craft 1, but I have enough for 2, even though my dust is now pretty much gone. Remember, it's a budget deck, so you could craft only 1, and if you're on extreme budget, you could just do none, but your deck's just not going to be that good. I don't know. Wow, I don't have Frost Elemental. Like, you don't have... I don't have dust for that. Don't have Baron or stuff like that. Okay, so let's see what else we got. You could craft one of those. They're pretty cheap, right? Might do that, but we'll see. But we have no way near enough for him. He's ultimate, but luckily hopefully you get it from your dudes. No, excuse me. And for me, I'm going to craft one of these because they're really good. You don't, for budget, you don't really need it at all, but I mean, actually it is pretty important. So we're going to craft one. I'm only at 230, so let's go ahead and piece together kind of a relatively budget deck. I know I've gone over some stuff expensive, but okay. So you need the Hot Spring Guardian. You need him. I'm probably going to put in the Earth Elemental. Well, depends. I know it's budget, so I don't like showcasing budget when it's not really an option. Okay, here, plus the Elemental doesn't... Earth Elemental doesn't really see play right now. Probably most likely because of the overload. And he's not necessarily needed. Alright, so that's your core that I think you need for a budget deck. I mean, you can, if you're really on a budget, you could get rid of one of the Lightnings and only have 1. But since I don't have... Kara, I can't really have access to it, so I'm not going to get any good removal otherwise. Okay, so we have that. Another thing you want to do is you need some removal. So for budget constraints, you could do, where is it? Or put those. Okay, so Mana Tide, if you have it, it's great. You don't necessarily need it. You know, trying to keep this deck cheap. Flame Tongue, for since you're on a budget, that's actually excellent. Plus, it helps you with your favorable trading. If you have a devolve, it's kind of a good idea to have right now in this meta, so I recommend that. But like I said, budget restraints, you're probably not going to use that. Jade Claws are actually good too, but again, if you're on a tight budget, you probably won't have it. Let's see, what else can we put in there. So I'm trying to keep it as budget as possible. We need a couple more cards. Let's see what else we have here that we could add for. I can't believe this account got budget. Oh yeah, definitely put an ooze, especially if you have a lot of warriors in there. Or and now another thing too, I guess it depends on your meta. I mean, I have this luckily, but you don't have to craft it. But if you do have it for a budget deck, it's kind of nice. This guy here is a option for budget, but we're gonna keep it kind of cheap here. Let's see, what else do we have here? All right, well, we're gonna go back here to the Shaman spells. If you have 2 lightnings, you could use those. If you don't have what's it called, Jade Lightning, stuff like that. Well, I actually have this guy, but I'm not going to use it because he's not that good. But I wouldn't recommend crafting him. And then all right, let's see. Let's get. I don't really like Jade Claws, and I don't want Overload. But let's see, another thing you could do. We'll put a Mana Tide in there because might need some card draw. Like I said, this is a budget deck, but if you have him, perfect. I would put at least 1, just in case you need healing. You might not. You know, that's a tech choice. And then I'm gonna put, since this is, I don't have any really great late game threats out of Cure or any of the legend. I'm gonna put in Earth Elemental. Like Earth Elemental's totally optional, because I have it. If you don't have anything, you could probably put Feral Spirits. You could put another Mana Tide if you want more card draw. You could also, like I said, if you have weapons, you could put the Jade. You know, actually, maybe the Jade would be better than, let's see what else. Ooze is a text choice for meta. I don't know, if you're not facing a lot, you might want to put a weapon. I don't want Overload, as minimum amount of Overload, but we're going to do that. But even though weapons are nice, but I'm trying to keep this deck cheap, and it's already kind of getting up there. Like this Stone Sentinel's just so much money. The Blaze Callers are a lot of money. If you don't have the Dust, you could even put in some of the free-to-play, which I don't have, but like Frost Elemental, stuff like that, stuff that you might have for a free-to-play account. And, alright, so let's go ahead and see if we can win some games. Like I said, the Ooze is a tech choice. If you need weapons, I would definitely recommend that. I'm trying to keep this as cheap as possible. I do have some options, like I said, but you know, I can't say it's a budget jet and start crafting stuff like Jade Claws, especially when I told you guys to do a Stone Sentinel and these guys are a substantial amount of dust, and if you're on a budget, it's hard. But these guys especially are so core, and this one is just pretty much a must-have. At least 1, probably even could get away with 2. And I was lucky enough to have a Earth Elemental, but that's definitely not something you would want to put in there. If you have some classic cards like the Frost Elemental, might be good. You might want to try those Glacier Shards or any of the other, what was it called? Which one was that? I don't have it, but might want to see about crafting that, actually. Hold on. What is it? I don't know. One of those are cheap. Screw it. Let's do that. They're cheap. They're 40 dust. So let's revise our list up there really quick. Yeah, make it a little bit more, what is it? Budget friendly. Oh no, it's not flame. It's, let's do elemental. Got wasting a lot of time with this. Oh, fire, not flame. Okay, so let's see what we could get rid of here to make it a little bit cheaper. I guess we could get rid of an ooze. I think only one of these is enough. The ooze is a deck choice, and matter of fact, devolve's kind of not good for budget, right? If you don't have the, definitely don't have that. I would probably, if I was on a budget, I would do something like this, where you have your fireflies, your flame tongue, hex, your guardians, your elementals here, your lightning storms, mana tide, at least one, maybe two if you don't have dust. Plus you have this. Actually, I kind of like this. And like I said, this guy's totally optional. I like it because just it's also kind of a tech choice in a way. You don't have a lot of aggression. You might want to drop that for another budget-friendly Jade Lightning if you can, because you kind of need removal. You might want to swap him out for a weapon that you have that's decent. Stone Shapers are kind of good. Oh, Fire, oh, these are kind of key, I think. Earth Elemental, like I said, you don't need that. I just have it. But as a matter of fact, I probably wouldn't run that in my main one anyways because of the overload is just too massive. Even though he tends to get a lot of value, right? He doesn't get hard removed much anymore. Servants are core because they're card draw. Fire Elementals are free. They're must-have. Blaze Callers are just too strong not to have. I don't think the deck would be that good without it. Stone Sentinel, at least one. Two would obviously be better, but I think this is good. So we're going to keep this, and let's go ahead and queue up and see how it does in the game. Guys, I'll be right back. Okay, our opponent is a Shaman. We're going to obviously get rid of stone. You want your Fireflies. Hot Spring Guardian's good. Let's see. Tar Creeper. Okay. I'll take a free win. Alright, let's go to the next one. And we'll try again. Oh, look. One win towards the new hero. And only 2 wins in this Shaman deck, or hero on this account. Is that the same dude? No. Alright, so for Shaman, or you want your early game off, Lightning Storm's actually good to keep against Shaman because they, especially if it's elemental, they're going to flood the board. That's not a good start, though. I should have maybe mulliganed the Storm. You don't want your Fire Plume Phoenix right now, but he'll be good on turn 4. Yeah, 2 Lightning Storms. That's a horrible start. You need Firefly. Even Flame Tongue might be kind of good for favorable trading. Your early game elementals like Guardian, the stuff like that, and then of course you'll go from there. So hopefully let's see how it does. It's a budget deck. It's not much room for refinement, unfortunately, and this start's horrendous because I do not have a lot of cards. I would love to get the new Primal Lord cow guy for the Shaman. He's just so awesome, but you know, this is budget. When you're on a budget, you can only craft so many cards. But the Blaze Callers, you have to have 2 of those. I guess you could get by without the Stone Sentinel, but he, I think, is just very important to have as well. Alright, so we don't have anything to play, and we can't play him next turn, but our opponent's having a slow start too, so we could use the Phoenix to get rid of Minion or whatever, and then we'll be able to play him Synergy on turn 5 or something like that. Oh, so he's Elemental. Oh, wow, he is... Unfortunately, we can't kill it, but we need to play something. We could remove it, I guess, but we're not going to do that right now. We're going to move his totem, and it can contest his board, and I could heal it up next turn. Next turn's turn 5. We don't have anything except for him, maybe, but he's not an elemental, so that kind of sucks. So we're going to have to trade here. Okay, he's good. We could do that. We could do that. Oh, we don't have a. I was gonna say I could sacrifice my minion and kill that, but we unfortunately don't have it. I think we're gonna have to play this. Unfortunately, we don't have much of a. I mean, I could do some area effect and get rid of this. I'm probably gonna have to trade in there. I could actually hero power and try to see if I could high roll. I don't know if that's a good idea because I want to definitely play him on turn 6. At least we have that. I'm gonna probably break his shield. Reason being is because he could use this and that and get rid of it, and his minion will live. I mean, he'll live anyways, but at least he'll take some damage. Don't like doing that, but I don't want him to get a lot of value from the Divine Shield. Because if he hexes it, well, then that sucks. But if he doesn't, he could trade into him and go from there. And then I'll be able to, if he trades, I'll be able to finish him off with a Fire Elemental. And then I'm going to have a perfect turn 7 follow-up. Alright, so he is trading. He's not going to hex. Unless he just wants to get elementals. No, he didn't have hex. Alright, so, you know, Lightning Bolt might be a good option to have. Alright, so our next 2 turns are going to be really strong. I could technically clear the board. Matter of fact, it might be an idea, but I don't want to go off curve and mess up my... Because next turn he's going to be really good if he puts any kind of beefy minion down. But clearing out his board would be kind of nice too, though, right? So he obviously has a better start than us. He has a lot of tokens. I don't know why he used all his tokens in one turn. That's good because Blaze Crawler is a must. I know it's epic and it's kind of hard to when you're very low on dust, but it's just too good to have. Okay, so what we're going to do... You're at that, and then next turn we don't really have much. I really, as much as I would love to kill these guys, I think killing this out is better because it just uses. He has too many. He could have another lightning bolt. He could have a lot of good stuff. So we're gonna definitely hex that because it'll be a big tempo swing, and I really want to keep the minion alive. So what we're gonna do is obviously hex. Might as well deal with the minion now. I could have probably dealt with one of those, and I could lightning storm, but it's not really that much of a threat. We're going to do this because it's a little bit beefier. Alright, so we're... Oh, wow. Taunts are us. Good. Obviously, lightning storm's not going to help. Okay, he hexes, so that's unfortunate. We're going to have to remove that. Hopefully we get a... Alright, let's see what we roll here. Oh, man. I could remove it, but then I'm not going to play a elemental. It's not that big of a deal. I'd rather clear his board, and so I could develop more. I really was tempted to play out this or another Tar Creeper, but that's the reason why, because if I get him next turn, it's going to be pretty good. Now this we're probably going to have to clear out. Oh yes, I hate that when you don't play. We're definitely going to play. Let's see if we get any high rolls. Oh man, I don't know if that's a good thing, right? Because I can't favorably trade into any of this, so it kind of sucks. But we need it. Hopefully we get lucky. Oh wow, we do. Let's see. We're going to do this. Heal him up. And then he gets another heal, so he's back to full health. So next turn we have card draw. Oh well. We need a hex now. He's probably going to win, but let's see. Unfortunately, we can't have the we can't get if that taunt wasn't there, we'd easily be able to deal with this. But we can't. So what we're going to do is get rid of what we can. Just go face, and then we have card draw next turn. So hopefully we get something juicy like the new legendary. That'd be awesome. Doing pretty decent, though. I mean, this is a budget deck, but, wow, okay, that's pretty bad. Is he going to trade, or is he just going to go face? Oh, that's bad. No, he's just going to do that. Yeah, so this is where we're falling behind. Oh, wow, he uses that. Okay. Yeah, he's a lot of healing. I've done shit for his face damage. Alright, so we're definitely going to do this. We're going to play that to get rid of, Oh, we definitely need Alicure. We could put him down, but we can't just leave that guy. He could do a lot of face damage. But we're way out of luck, though, guys. We don't have much left. We do have a Earth Elemental, which is good. We'd have some card draw, but we're not going to be able to... thinking of which. And we're out of luck here. So he's trading, which is kind of nice. There's just no way for us to deal with that. We could do Alicure, right? But... might be a little bit too late. I think this is where we lose, and both our hexes are gone, if I remember. Yep. Oh, no, we have one hex left. Ah, oh, man. We're gonna... No, I don't know. Right? Do 3 damage. Is it gonna really make a difference?
That's incredible.
Yeah, go, shut up, dude. Yeah, but I could go in there with it and do 3 damage and have 5, but then only have... 4. What else do I have? I have a Jade Lightning, so it might make a difference. But we're gonna let him trade. But yeah, we're pretty much dead in the water. Of course he goes face, right? And this guy's just had a much better game than I have. So, it's going to be tough. You know, I wouldn't say he's had any kind of, what's it called, better luck than I have. I just had better draws. I mean, the only, what's it called, I would say exception maybe is he's had what, he's had, the lightning bolt. So I might update the list, remove flame tongue, stuff like that. But yeah, there's pretty much no way I can recover now. Anyway, so yeah, what about thinking about it? That I think reach and stuff's a little bit more important. I think the reason why he won was because of his lightning. So let's see if we could go in there and update this again. It's just getting ideas. I mean, flame tongue is nice for budget, but lightning bolt's just kind of nice. I think removal's important, as you saw in that game. I think that gave him the edge. I mean, it's just one game, right? I could continue testing it, but I don't know. Flame Tongue, I don't even use it my main one. It's great and all for budget, and even good for certain decks. But we didn't get a good early start. We didn't get our Flame Tongues. We didn't get we didn't get our guy out there. We could have played for card draw. The Earth Elemental's why he's nice. Maybe he's not the best choice, but he didn't even come into factor. Anyways, him, I don't know. We'll see. Just one game obviously is not enough. He has a better version of the deck, so. But I think a Lightning Bolt's something I think might be a good idea to add. Anyways, I just want to let you guys here's a budget take on Elemental Shaman, and what's good is we could even try. Let's see. Let's do a budget version of... Alright, so that... we'll save this for another video. I was going to show you a budget version of the Elemental Druid as well. But we'll do that for another video, guys. Okay, thanks for watching and take care. Bye.